always talks about it's never not about us. It's always about us because we're at war. Because you don't see them doing any other communities like that and promoting it. That's the key, the promotion on top of everything. And then what I find really troubling is we're going onto lots of different platforms and stuff when we don't know what we're doing. So we're running around like after people with speakerphones and people who've got loud voices and stuff. But when you get to the root of it, you're like, okay, so what do we do now? Now we in this space, there's like tumbleweed. We don't really know what to do.
My phone has been ringing this week from people that were saying basically certain people are not going to get stopped and searched and shot in the head because of what they're involved in. So basically not trying to understand the context, not trying to understand systematically how this has come about, the settings that we're living in as black people, marginalisation. No one's really talking about that. What we've been hearing is that, well, if Chris is doing this and that, then boy, and I'm like, right, you're sounding like the white man almost right now, I'm about to say it to a couple man on the phone, you sound like the white man. It sounded like they put the narrative out that Chris was not in college or uni, Chris was, involved in certain things. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's that there, innit? He's not a good guy. And I'm like, rah, you don't know him. Like, and even if he was not on the right path right now, just like a lot of us weren't, shouldn't he have the time to
change that?
Shouldn't he be apprehended if he's not doing the right thing and the feds have got intelligence on him? Shouldn't he have been apprehended, put through the criminal justice system, and then get the chance like everybody else to change his mind when he gets a bit older and be out here living his life, raising his children? He should not be dead. He shouldn't have a bullet in his head. And that's been for me to have to be talking with our own people like that. Obviously, yeah, we know that there's a massive issue in the way it wasn't not for Chris, not for
The thing is, it's never just that person as well, though, isn't it? Because the same way that, say, like you said, Jay, when you mentioned the Queen, loads of us will turn around and say we don't care about the Queen. Like, it is what it is. Some people might be like, oh my gosh. Some people are hurt by it. Some people are traumatized. Everyone feels whatever they feel. But then, for the people who aren't upset, they know why they're not upset. When they're looking at, well, what's she done? What have the royals done? So if we were to hold that, then a lot of people should be just saying, good, she should be. Mm-hmm. Some people are saying that, but the point is, it's your own response. But it's still, whether we feel it or not, that doesn't say it doesn't impact her family directly, whether they feel something about it. Same way his family's going to feel something. But now you've got another child who's going to do that systematic growing up without a father thing. Even if they have someone that steps in their life like that, that child's father is no longer going to be, it's not an option. It's not, there's a choice or your dad isn't around because it's just, unfortunately, your dad isn't here no more. There's no, let's see if things change. Let's see how do you know what I mean? That opportunity of life in his life, child's life, family's life is gone. At the hands of somebody else who's basically just played God in 2 seconds.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's crazy.
But if he shot someone in the head, it would have been a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I just think it's just deeper than the police shooting another melanated person. I think it's more to do with the people that know that melanated people are really powerful. And when you're traumatized, you can't connect to your true power. So let's just traumatize everybody twice a year, 3 times a year, and then they'll never really fully get to their true potential. There's a pattern now, isn't it? I think we're noticing there's a pattern now. It keeps on happening. It can't be by coincidence. Mm-hmm. Like, geezer shot man in their head. It's like, whoa, what's going on, brother? Like,
designed.
It's a design.
It
seems like that's what's going on.
The thing is, they're following it, and it's like, I just see America kicking in more and more and more. Because it's like, hold on. Not that we've never had police shootings over here, but police shootings and deaths are still relatively, compared to that America, are far and few between. You're hearing them dying in custody because they've either been like negligent, they've been left, they've had fits, no one's cared for them, they've been beaten, they've done that, but actually directly shooting them, you can still count over the years the amount of actual killings that have happened under the law, like in that respect.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to become a little bit more frequent as the years go by.
I just think it's going to get worse.
This is what I'm saying. But now their training's going to change.
Some next police cars driving down the road and army trucks and cool. What the fuck is that? What's going to be happening
Well,
over here now?
Yeah, Cobra.
Looked like a big
Like a
Tank.
tank, yeah. It looked like a tank on wheels.
Yeah, they're Cobra ones. They're preparing. They're just testing the water. I just think it's not surprising, obviously, because they've been telling us in so many different ways. The education hasn't changed. The music and the imagery they put out of us hasn't changed. They're still killing people everywhere, like America here. Obviously, we know America's different, but we are the birth parents of the American system. So we have to acknowledge that mindset has come from us. We are the people that have created the worldwide system. So it's really here. It's just how they feed it to us. Do you know what I'm saying?
So
and it's slavery. It's just it's different type of slavery. We are in slavery.
We are.
Because when you look at how they're convicting, well, not even convicting, well, the way they're looking at how they are holding these officers accountable, was it misconduct or was it like a crime? And like how long that's going to take, we don't know. But the way they treat the state or the people that work for the state versus the public shows you who you are. You are a slave to them. You don't matter. If you mattered, we wouldn't be getting to a place of a police chase.
It's how it's packaged, though, isn't it? It's how it's packaged because the police were originally the slave patrol. We need to stop looking at them as the police.
Policy.
They're the slave patrol. The slave patrol, if your slaves got out of line, you could put them back in line by any means necessary. There's no consequences for them because they can kill you.
And in other countries, it's much more. In Brazil, when I went to Brazil, I would see people. I would go to the favelas. I remember, big up Pedro. If you're not with Pedro, you can't go in the favelas. I ain't at him. I'm seeing every single shade of black, but not my shade. So I'm seeing your shade, your shade, your shade, your shade. But we couldn't find too many of my shades. So I'm going around after like 2-3 days. I'm saying, clearly we was here because all these shades are here. So like, where's my shade? And I'm saying to people, like, where's like the darker skinned black people? They're saying, oh no, they'll get killed. They'll get killed. If they're not dead, they're in prison. That's where they are. You lot get treated the worst here. Like, and when we're going in the favela, they said to us, you have to have the windows down when you go in the car. It's bare checkpoints. When you get to the favela, there's a checkpoint. They look in. So if the windows all the way down, and when you're going through, you have the windows down. Everyone can see you. He says, be very visible, hands down, like hands where you can see all these kind of things. Because he said most of the people that are doing most of the drillings look like you, not me. So you need to be careful here. And when I'm going about, it's mad, man. I'm like, bro, I need to get out of, like, yo, this is mad. I can feel the energy. Certain people looking at me. I'm like, so we're subjugated to the worst level of violence, the worst treatment, the worst everything in people in places like Brazil, and they're killing people there.
And that context is needed, though. That, like, I don't think over here I know over here we can't see this for what it really is. This is why it's going to continue to happen, and I actually think that it's going to have to get so much more worse. Like, it's going to have to get to a point where we just can't lie anymore. We're lying to ourselves.
A lot of us are waiting for that, you know. I mean, we don't want to lose any more people, but we're waiting to get to that day. So if we have to lose 3 more for us to really get in tune, then I'm sorry, RIP to the others, unfortunately. But we need to wake up. Every time we lose someone, we have to lose the game, unfortunately. Like.
And we're still very comfortable, very comfortable. Very spoiled. We still think that this is a playing field. We still don't understand that. Like, this is warfare.
I had a black woman telling me today, are you not coming on Monday, Richard? I said, are you serious? You're gonna insult me like that? As a black woman, as a black man, you're gonna insult me like that? Yeah, but what do you mean? No,
I was more concerned, am I going to get paid for not going to work that day? Because I'm not going to get paid.
So be it.
We're clearly not all reading the same books.
No.
And you know what? Even if we are, we're clearly not taking in the same information.
You know what I find really, what takes the piss even more is the way that obviously people go and protest and stuff afterwards, which is, it has its purpose, right? But that for me is what is the harvesting, because it's like you've got bare people coming together, passion, and then we're marching, and then you go to these spaces and they take the fucking piss out of us.
Transfer of energy.
They just don't come and see you.
You
Like,
lose
to
your
me,
energy.
what are you marching there for when they're not even going to speak to you?
They were told to come out though.
Disrespectful.
Reparations march. No disrespect to anyone who goes there. I've been there a couple of times. Every year they walk
Yeah.
from Brixton to Parliament and ask for reparations. No, you don't see anybody.
No
We're
one
just
will
at
come out
Parliament.
and
Yeah.
We're
say,
just
you
at
know what?
Parliament.
I hear you
Taking
people.
pictures, videos,
Yeah.
just to show the rest of the
And
world.
go back.
Yeah.
Knackered.
Yeah.
Not even no music.
But
It's not
But,
gonna
but what I'm saying is,
transfer
like,
of energy.
so
Yeah, they're
we-
inside
what-
like this, looking
what
and
do we
laughing.
actually get out of that? We don't get they get a lot, because
We
you're
lose.
walking on
The
their
only-
ground.
And we feed
bringing
into the
attention
narrative.
into
We
it,
feed
yeah.
into
The
the
thing
narrative
is,
that they're
all
going
the
to spin.
attention,
Yeah.
all the things
The
that
only
you put on
benefits-
social media,
that
all
I
of
would
this,
see,
that's
say,
that's them, not us.
only benefits I would say is that group gets bigger and bigger every year. So more black
Yeah.
people are clocking
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And people
And
are
like-
more unified as well.
Right, that, and that's
Yeah.
positive.
But that's
We
the
need
thing,
that.
though. But it's a lot
But
of
it's
the
when-
time. It's only for that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
like
problem,
follow-up,
because
yeah.
you might have people that will squash the beef for like 5 hours because we're not doing it for you. I'm not coming here for you. So you know what? Them man are going to be here, but we know that they're going to be at the back. So we'll stay here and separate. But then by tomorrow, you're beefing again.
But imagine if this. See, you touched on something. T. Did you finish? By the way?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, sorry. I made it intentionally. Yeah. But imagine if like these guys, because obviously there's a talk that a lot of men in South now are unifying. They're like,
Yeah.
bun the beef thing. Imagine if that was permanent.
Excellent.
This is the thing.
We
Love
know
to
who
see
our
it.
enemy
That's
is.
the only
Encourage
way.
us
We've
to
got
get
to
out
forgive
there,
each
encourage
other.
it.
We've got to heal each other. No more beef. It's one love. We know who the enemy is.
But then we need to keep asking why.
Yeah.
Why does this keep happening? Who's responsible?
Mm-hmm.
We need to not be scared to go back and accept some things. Because
100%.
until we do that, that is going to be premature.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep going back into the same loop
Yeah.
that they've got us in.
Thing is, like you said, it's understanding. It's the comprehension of everything in it, even down to the things of the beef. Like, it's not, squash the beef, we all have to be friends. You don't even have to be friends. You don't even have to be amicable. If it just means that we just walk past each other, just walk past each other. But as long as you're not going for each other, that's the first step. Yeah, now understanding, hold on, why was I even going
Yeah,
for you in the
yeah.
first place? Why have I not seen myself in you? Why have you not seen yourself in me? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like, as a female, how many times have you been out, you don't know the girl, you might be in the bathroom, and you're thinking, why is she screaming?
Yeah.
Might be in the room, and you're slightly thinking, start checking your whole outfit, you're like, did I do something? Like, maybe it's not a
Or
scream,
you
maybe
You
I
know,
was
you're
like
why are you
hanging
looking
out,
at
like,
me? And they might be like, oh, I just liked what you
you're
were
right.
wearing. And
I'll
oh,
smile in your face.
Why didn't you say
God, I
that
don't know
then?
what's going on, but I'm just, and if you don't smile back, that's when I'm like, oh, there's, let me just exit. But the first thing will be like, you okay?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
If you got something nice to say, just say it.
Yeah.
Just feel free enough to say, I like it. Me, I don't care. I'll be like, I like your dress, I like your shoes. You look nice. And I think if we felt comfortable enough to do that with each other, I don't know what it's like for you as men, but I know there was that stupidness that used to come around where everyone used to, if you had to say something, you had to follow through with no homo,
Yeah.
just because it didn't sound like. But the fact that once you can start saying, yo, brother, this looks good, you look good, you don't have to know him, but we can do that with each other.
Yeah, naturally.
Then we can start seeing ourselves, and then we can start building. But it's gonna take a while.
I think people can't do it to themselves.
That's it.
Why they can't do it to somebody else.
Yeah.
They don't look at themselves in the mirror and say, you're beautiful.
I like
Or,
not
I
even I
love
like
you.
you, I like you, I love you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And even that, like, I think I can't lie though, I have started to see it now in certain people around, you know, like where I've seen guys, and it's such a beautiful thing to walk past and a guy just acknowledges another guy.
Yeah.
And it's like walking past and they're looking at each other and it's like, love, brother. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Being a black man
well,
and
yeah,
another
like
man.
another, and you're like, yo, and I'm starting to see. Sorry, yes, very true. When two black men say no, but to hear it and it doesn't have to be off the back of something. It's not, or even if you walk past and say, yeah, them garbs, love, brother, yeah, nice, and they just keep it moving. There's not no. Let me check.
Yeah.
Right, so, and I'm
Some small
starting to
changes,
hear
some
it
small
more,
changes.
but so you're starting to see, okay, these people, and it's not just, they're not people that are on beef, they're people that are, you can see that they're crawling out that bucket now, but they're willing to carry with and I think we need to understand that carrying others doesn't mean carrying everyone. Yeah, carrying one person is enough, because that one person carries another. We don't have to be the one that says, all right, let's climb out this bucket, let me try and grab all 5, because within that 5, someone's going to pull you back down, and then you won't save no one. And I think we've got too many people that are trying to do the group save, and then others that are just like, bun everybody, I'm out here myself. So it's finding the balance in between.
Don't you think it's interesting that the place that we find ourselves in, we actually don't know. We actually aren't familiar with it. We actually don't know what makes this situation what it is. We have no clue. Because really and truly, in my mind, it's not a question. I can see what's happening. There is an agenda to wipe black people off this earth, and as you said, not allow them to get to their true potential.
100%.
With that being said, who, what, when, and why? And when you start following, you realize, oh shit, this has been happening. Oh shit, follow the money. You lot love money. Follow the fucking money. Who's funding this shit? Who funds the police? The media that's got us, that's programmed us from birth, got our mums, our nans, and they're conditioning us. Why can't we see like constant positive narratives that fit black men and black women? Why? How? Like, it's like people seem to think that like this doesn't run so deep.
Too deep.
It's just, oh, a black man kills another. No! Everyone's been wired. The circumstances that you find yourself in, how'd you get there? How'd you get there? School, why was you not taught about yourself and the places that you find yourselves in? Why is it broken off into English and science and maths, and none of it directs you to doing what's best for you? Why don't they want you to know who you truly are and your relationship with the world around you? Why do they not want you to know that?
So, Ant, do you think that they don't want just us black people to know, or everyone? Because it seems like the war's against a lot more people nowadays.
Sorry, I know I'm not. Can I? No, because it was what was playing in my head. What I was gonna say, as much as melanated people, we've been fed something. It's becoming global now. What we're being fed, it's not just us now, because they have to do it. Because if they did do it as just us, at some point we would break out of it, because we're going to realise, hold on, that is literally just us that's getting that. Switch that off. Do this, do that.
It was just us, though.
It was. But what I'm saying is, now there's a lot more mixing. Yeah. So where you've got a little bit of unity outside of the black community, so you have got certain white people that will stand up for black people. Some will stand up more than some black people. Yeah, you might have certain Asian people that are willing to risk being disowned by their own family for the friends or families that they've created within black people. So now, no matter how small these groups are, if you've got groups of other races and other cultures that are willing to support black people, you can't only aim it at just black people now. So you have to make it seem.
You think that's why they
so
do it.
that's why
you want to align with the black people?
Right. So now everything's going to be on a geographical level. So hold on. You look at Newham's got one of the highest crime rates.
Yep.
Yeah. But then you've got Tower Hamlets, you've got Camden. Yeah. When you look at it, why is it so demographic? They have to go for demographics of people, not just a race. Yeah. Because if you go for the black people that are living up there in a more suburban kind of area, they're not feeling attacked like we are. It's not going to work. Yeah, you know why? Because they've got things that we don't have. They're in a position that we're not in. So now, I don't care if it's black, white, Asian, whatever down there, they've all grown up together. Them children are going to roll together. So guess what? If the little black boy, Johnny, goes and he wants to shoot up people every week and sell weed, it's fine. We're going to treat him the same way we treat the black boy next to him. So then when we come in, no one can't say, well, it's any different. He got the same thing. But it's the same type of young person. Remember, we got the youth culture. Then you got other cultures, you got subcultures. If you belong to that subculture, you're getting attacked the same way, because you're a risk to them. Because if you're willing to do the same things with them, you're a problem, you're a threat to them too. So now we're going to take all of you out. So it almost looks fair, but we still know it isn't.
When you look at our circumstances, right? There's a certain type of attack.
100%. It's different.
It's different.
Mhm.
It's different. So, you know, it's
To
like...
the point where even Asian people have said to me recently, I can see you black brothers have got a bit different from us. They've said it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
They've said it.
yeah,
They didn't know
yeah,
before.
yeah,
They couldn't
yeah,
see it.
yeah.
Because everyone
They've
else
said
sees
it
their own
recently.
hurt.
Over the last couple of years, said, we're seeing some stuff like we know it's
Yeah.
a bit different. For
Mhm.
us Asians and you blacks.
100%.
It's some, people are against you
Right.
differently.
Right.
Mhm.
So,
100%.
to answer it, as much as the attack is worldwide, it's specific for each other. Because when you actually think about it, the Asians have got their shit together.
Yeah.
More
Which is
so-
why they have to be attacked in a different way.
Right.
Because
right, right.
whatever you're tight on,
Yeah,
that's what we need to break down. So
Yeah,
we know
yeah.
that they've got unity on lock.
yeah.
However, they're also to the point where they're willing, like you said, if we have to lose one or two to make it, they are willing to do that sacrificial thing of, where if you ain't in clan, you ain't in clan. It's not
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
because
yeah.
you can't break that for them.
Yeah.
We're too
yeah.
much. Yeah, but it's still family though.
We want to
Yeah.
unify before we've actually got the foundation.
Right. So they have that. So that
Yeah.
has to be broken.
They
through.
have the foundation, right?
We don't have that. So that don't, right. So
But
now
they're
they've
not
got.
well.
They have to
Yeah,
go into
yeah.
exactly. But so they have their realms. All right. So that's tight. That's tight. We've got to attack that now to break that down. We don't have that, so they don't have to worry about that with us. So they can just we'll take that. It's like doing that. It's like they're cherry picking from
Yeah,
each group.
Yeah.
So everybody's gonna have a struggle, but everybody's struggle is different.
Nothing is happening for no reason.
100%.
Don't ever get. And this is what's mad. People seem to think that they have free will. People seem to think that they haven't been manipulated into certain situations. The environment. Why the fuck is there a hood? Why is there a hood? Why is there a project? Why is it even a thing? How? Like, no country is poor, but they paint the narrative of poverty. There is no poverty. The earth is the riches, is the gold. Trident, that's organized.
Yeah.
That was supposed to happen. The police, what good does the police do? I don't know. How can you, how can your foundation be the slave patrol and your intentions be good? You've just evolved into another version of. I can't expect nothing good. It's just,
Just
it's mad,
to
man.
jump on the Trident thing. So, Trident is a black on black task force. They're the only force that has guns.
And
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's literally a black on black task force, and it's the only thing that has gun. Plus, in entertainment, you see coming with this Black Panther movie, they fight Atlantis, right? Which they have tridents. So there's all these subliminals that like play into the bigger picture. So if you know Trident is a black on black task force, the only force to have guns and automatic guns, then you know it's designed
To kill black people. It's not
Because
about the guns.
The white and white don't have a task force, even though Glasgow's got the worst knife crime in the country. They don't have a task force to kill them. So there's a very
White on white crime doesn't exist, Jay.
or Asian Asians.
Duh.
It's
Very
it's
specific.
intentional in what they don't say, but what they do. So we need to stop listening to, because they obviously, the system's not scared of you, but the people who are on the front line of those systems are. Like, so they don't want to have uncomfortable meetings like, oh my God, these people are angry. Of course they'll be angry. I don't understand why. Because you're representing a system. The people who come to these meetings and are involved, they don't understand what they're representing. But when you break it down to them, like, black on black task force, Trident, why don't anyone else? Their thing is to kill black people, unfortunately.
So like, you see like when, because as we're starting to see, there's a pattern, this keeps happening a couple of times a year, they keep doing it. They've killed Edison in Newham, they killed Rashid in Hackney, they killed Mark Duggan, they killed loads of people. Who do you think, like, kind of says, okay, we're ready, let's go again?
What do you mean?
Like, who's in charge of this? Like, who's sending out these hits?
Yeah.
Is it the police?
Who's
Is it the
the
government?
hitman behind it all?
Like, who's saying, okay, guys, it's that time again? Is everyone ready? We're going to have like marches, protests. It's going to be a bit hectic for a couple of weeks. We're ready, guys. We're going
Well,
again.
that's probably how they have their
They
meetings.
just look at a
Who
list
is
and
that?
think,
Who is that?
oh, we
So
haven't got this person in a
We
long
can
time.
really and truly, all we can say is we don't know, right? That's all we can say, but because really and truly we don't know. But this is where the work comes in. You need to look at why you think how you think, why you're in the circumstances that you're in. You need to look for the patterns. You see when like all these big crime cases are happening and stuff like that, say like things with like big money and stuff, they follow the money. If you
Money's
follow
a
the
trail.
money, yeah, you're gonna see the owners, the people who
See it
give the
everywhere.
okay for this shit to run. And I'm telling you, you are gonna, and don't get me wrong, because there's always a face in front of a face to hide you from the face,
Of course.
right? There's a trail of getting back to reality.
I want to touch on the patterns. So, 10 years ago was Mark Duggan.
Mm-hmm.
What was just before that was Olympics. So they made something happen so they can clean up the streets, right? So it could be put across as if, oh, London's a safe city. Obviously, over time, everyone's coming out, things have deteriorated, and we've got another new realm happening. Like, there is something on its way, the financial crisis and a lot more, right? Control, rationing packs, all these things that is on the government websites. So, in order to stop you from
They're gonna justify it
from
again.
kind of covering at the thing, they have to create confusion and division. So obviously, with this whole, people don't realise, like, this Chris thing, I don't know, obviously there is things, you know, the triangle. So the people who've done what they've done, they don't realise there's a program in place that they've been given.
They don't even
Right?
know.
They don't even know.
They
So
don't even know.
it's not, that's why you couldn't identify it. It's so clever. But this Black Panther thing is going to calm people down, literally.
Rock them to sleep, bro.
Because everyone's going to watch Black Panther, yeah, boom, boom, unified, and now everyone's chill. But we're going to go back to our normal lives, and in a
100%.
couple months' time, we're going to be fucked. Because they've moved, there's a financial thing happening at the moment, which is all about control. And the one world system where basically, to be, if you're a good little citizen, you can get
Point.
access
Brownie
to brownie points to, and then, so that's what's really happening. But obviously, what they're trying to do is play the cards of division. So the easiest game to play right now, because they saw how powerful it was when everyone went off on George Floyd, Mark Duggan stuff, they're like, oh, we can do that because that rocks the boat wildly, and then everyone's confused. Everyone's in, like, white people are scared, black people are angry, whatever it is. This is what they're. It's.
I just got this feeling that there's a lot of them just having parties. Like,
Bro.
London's been rocking this week, isn't it?
Yeah, like-
marches, people have been dying. I
But-
feel like they just love it.
We
We're
could
getting
They
paid.
do.
bro.
getting paid.
They're rocking
Getting
the boat
money
and they're
for
getting paid. But we were saying it. I think we can feel it. A lot of us can feel it, but we don't know. We don't want to acknowledge it. If that makes sense. Like I
They can't
this last
identify
week,
it.
yeah, I felt off.
100%, bro.
I felt
They're-
off, bro.
My work are lucky that I've been in. They're lucky. What do you mean?
I'm
Like,
cutting that out, Roach.
I felt off.
Goes
But
in
I-
jokes, guys, jokes.
The
no,
only
no, keep
thing
that in.
I'm telling people in my work, I feel off.
They need to
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I feel
What
off.
do you mean?
How are you feeling? Off.
Right.
And they know they don't want to talk about
They
it.
know.
They don't want to talk about it.
Listen.
But I think that's like we were saying, when you're not in tune with yourself fully as well. And it's not even if you're not in tune, because I think even if you are in tune, sometimes we just don't know what it is. So you know something's not right, but like, I know I've had days where, you know, when you just feel like you might feel sad. You've just woken up. You've got nothing to be sad for, but you've just woken up and thought, I don't feel great. And someone's like, what's wrong? You're like, nothing, but everything. You're like, I feel sad. Did something happen? You're like, no, but you might want to cry, and you just, there's something in you telling you something's changing, something's happening, but because you can't pinpoint what it is, you either end up saying, do you know what, just me one of those days, or you go and you become a bit more inquisitive, or you might sometimes hold on to that energy and you struggle to release it because you're like, no, I know it's like this, I know something's going on, but I can't. And then that builds into frustration, and then you start snapping at people because you can't identify what it is. And if we all go through that shift and everyone's on that same vibe, you start snapping. Everyone starts getting
just
aggy with each other. Then all of a sudden, things break out again.
Right.
And it doesn't always have to be a major thing. It can small little things. Because them small little things that people overlook turn into big things in the long run.
When I spoke about what I thought needed to happen,
Yeah.
people have said to me, they're never going to allow, it's going to be war. We're just going to have to, it's going to just be war. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna, when we start rising up,
Yeah.
just like Black Wall Street, then we start bombing us and that. And
That
I've
is
heard
it.
a few people say, that's what I've been waiting for, that
Yeah.
part. I know people that's ready for the war, like they ain't got time for marching.
Yeah.
They're like, call me when it's that time. Because I know guys that are just
Yeah,
ready
no,
for
no,
that.
no.
It's too much. They've
But
seen
that's
everything.
what-
Their friends
that's
have
the
died,
language they
their mental
understand.
health
Yeah.
throughout our community.
How do you think, like, it's like, please, just, I don't even care. How do you think things came to be? They went and they took. They did not ask. They
Everything.
went and they took. They went, they conquered and captured. And they made sure they maintained it. They took. They did not ask. They made sure to let you know, if you fuck with this, you're gone.
When you think about it, though, it's funny because you get taught about war, right? And all these war veterans, these heroes, this and that. That person laid down their life for the country, for the soil. But hold on. The two ends that have been fighting for the last 20 years, right? Why is that not war? Why the boys that have been shooting each
It's in
other
its beef.
not see? Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what war is.
No, but
No,
yes,
but
yes,
what I'm
yes,
saying
yes,
is,
yes,
why are
yes,
we not
yes,
taught
yes,
that?
yes.
Whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, why are we taught that
yeah.
the two blocks, the
Yeah.
two ends, the
Yeah.
two whatever, or
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 that have been shooting at each other, and wrong is wrong and right is right. Yeah, if you're gonna base it plain and simple. But the two blocks that have been shooting at each other for the last 20 years, why are you not seeing them as war veterans fighting for their
100%.
postcode? But yet the person who was shooting someone from a different country was laying down for their soil.
I think it's
Because,
honourable, isn't it?
but honourable for what and for
The
who?
country.
But that's
They've
it.
always
But
thought it was
then,
honourable.
but then the boys think it's honourable for their ends.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the difference?
And-
So at the end of the day, if they were taught in a way that, you know what, it's not right, but the beef you see is localised war. The beef you see there on that scale is this kind of war. Then when the grand scheme of it, because when they're flying the flipping flags now, support Ukraine, don't support Ukraine, do this, if you support them, this, hold on, why are you telling me that if I support a country that I don't want to get bombed, I'm going to feel the wrath of it? Hold on. So you're telling me based on my principles and morals, I should die, or I should suffer personally because I think what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
But which means you're willing to take me out too in any way, shape or form. So now, what's that? Because that's not war, because I don't have a beef with you.
The war on the end is organised.
But this is what I'm saying. But it's organised differently. It's organised on different levels. Like you've got the people, the young people that organise theirs, right? Then you've got the next step up, as in the demographics. It was already organised by government, or it's set higher. So they've set it. It's two different organisations, but it's going from the top
but
down
that's what I'm
and from
talking
the
about.
ground up.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
happens is it comes into the middle and then we clash. That's when everyone either goes to jail or gets shot and da. Because when they were doing it and they had their building from the ground up, creating their war, that was cool. But it's getting a little bit out of hand now. So hold on, us up here need to pipe it down a piece. But these lot don't even realise. You don't realise that, well, they know that they're oblivious. These lot don't know that there's something going on coming from the top down. And then it explodes in the middle.